A UB scientist is tackling a question on many parents' minds. Should teens be allowed to drink alcohol, at home in moderation? News 4's Marissa Perlman has more on what the research tells them. Marissa?
Well, that's right, Don. Some parents do allow their kids to have wine or beer at home, hoping if they drink in moderation with their family, they may be less likely to binge on their own and therefore decrease their chances for future alcohol-related problems. Well, now new data says it depends on the type of home.
Research scientist Ash Levitt uses data from a 15-year time span. The research polls over 700 parents and more than 2,000 kids from the Buffalo area.
The biggest thing we found is that the idea of kids being allowed to drink at home is not inherently protective or risky, that it really depends on the family structure. So in this case, we define the family structure as intact versus non-intact.
An intact family is where kids grow up with both biological parents. Non-intact are blended or single-parent family homes. In this study, kids in intact families who were allowed to drink at home showed the lowest levels of alcohol use and problems over time. That's compared to non-intact families who showed the highest levels. Kids who weren't allowed to drink at all, regardless of family structure, fell somewhere in the middle. Levitt says these patterns can make a lasting impact.
These are effects that start when they're teenagers and continue into their early 30s. So it's not that these effects go away. They can still have a meaningful impact later in life.
Levitt says kids from intact families did better because it's easier to monitor with two parents on hand, a reminder of the importance of communication.
Parents just need to be in touch with their kids' lives. They just need to know what their kids are doing. There needs to be effective two-way communication between parents and kids.
One dad of two says he'll have a no-tolerance policy when his kids grow up.
I would say that it has very bad influence, and you're setting quite a precedent for your young children.
This mom of four agrees and says she wants to set a good example for her kids so she doesn't drink at home either. But up to 30% of parents allow their kids to drink at home. Levitt says when it comes to this controversial issue, his study is not over yet.
I think there's a lot left to learn about these types of things, especially as they play out over long periods of time.
Now, it's important to note this research doesn't pinpoint exactly how much the family studied were allowing their kids to drink. So is it a glass of wine at Christmas or hard alcohol regularly? Levitt says he will now look to fine-tune some of these points right here in Buffalo.